the Talk of the Town podcast. It's your boy Certified Damo, and we got
Zay.
And like I told y'all last podcast, you guys are not going to know who our next guest is. You see we have an empty chair right here. And basically we're just going to ask him a bunch of questions. You know what I'm saying? Just create a little talk. We're going to just chat it up a little bit like we always do. This guest right here, I'm not going to introduce him because I'm going to let him introduce himself. But this is a guy, he's a close friend of me and Zay. And we have lots of talks, lots of deep conversations all the time. So I can see this being a very good talk. And we have some very good questions for him. And we're gonna pick his brain a little bit. It's all raw footage. He did not see none of the questions before.
And it's crazy because when we first started talking about doing a podcast, he was one of the first names that popped up to talk to.
Yep, he was one of the first few. We actually have a second guest that's coming really soon, and he's a very good talker too. But we're not even going to get on that right now because we're on this guest right now, and he's finna walk in. It's your boy,
Robert Lawrence Pierce IV, you know what I'm saying? The one and the only.
Tell him where you're from.
So first things first, I'm from Northern California, the 916 to be exact, Sacramento, California. You know, represent.
But so basically, like I said, we have a bunch of brain picking questions for him. He has a bunch of hypothetical situations for him. I have some questions on my phone written up. He has some questions on that notebook written up, and we're just going to talk it up. So first off, where are you from? What's your origin story?
So again, where I'm from Northern California, Sacramento to be exact. Little small town, Fair Oaks, California is where I raised for the second part of my life. I say my first half I was in North Highlands with my mom. My whole origin story and how I got here right now. So I started in California, moved to Abilene, Texas for a bit, moved back to California. I would say I moved to Abilene, Texas when I was 10 to 9 to 10. Then moved back to California and just spent the rest of my time there until I got here.
So what would you say was your experience in California?
Growing up, my experience, I was big on family and just unity and just big on finding me. So I know growing up in California, especially I lost my father at a young age. So growing up in California, I always tried to find Robert, who he was. And growing up, it was just diverse. You saw a lot of different things, different people. And so I was just exposed to new ideas growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Would you say family was the motivation to keep you going during the dark times that we all go through?
Most definitely, because growing up, it was definitely hard. Just because I had always felt alone. At a young age, again, losing my father, but at the same time, my mom was kind of fighting an addiction herself. So kind of losing both of them at the same time, kind of still struggle with me mentally because there was no comfort there. But I know I was just so big on family just because although they weren't there, I had other family members who showed up to the plate and delivered, showed me love and poured into me because it takes a village, most definitely. And so I just want to give back. So I have 3 younger siblings, and I just want to be the light to them and show them the way. Because like I said, again, it takes a village.
Yeah, most definitely. I could say it does take a village because it does take a family and a foundation for you to grow up anyway. Because I ain't gonna lie, it's just use this scenario: put a baby on the street. Is that baby gonna grow up the same as you did? No. I mean, maybe it might find a family, but you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be the same because it still went through those things to get to that spot. To get to wherever they got to, if that makes sense. But it's I definitely understand that because it definitely takes a foundation. It takes a family, a really good family to make you grow and grow into a really good person. And if it don't, then, you know what I'm saying, you're just going to have to do it yourself. Like I mentioned in the other podcast, it's just it's you versus the world at the end of the day. But that family foundation is perfect for situations and anything. So my next question for you is, what was your hardest challenge that you have to overcome in your life?
I say my hardest challenge I had to overcome in my life is the loss of my father. So I lost my father at the age of 5 again. But I would say just not having no father mentor. Just growing up, it was hard seeing other kids go into their dad and stuff like that. I mean, I have my grandpa, but he can only do so much because there's 2 different generations. So I would say just growing up and finding my own voice as a young man now, but just trying to become myself and become a man again. I just didn't have a dad to mentor me and give me, pour into me. So it was definitely, I would say my toughest task is overcoming that.
So with you growing up in California and being back and forth between Texas, did you play sports? I know Texas is a big football state, and I know California get down when it comes to sports. So.
Man.
Hold on, before we get there, before he even explains anything, Texas stumps Cali in sports.
Let's not get it twisted.
In basketball,
football,
baseball,
hockey,
soccer, hockey,
all of it.
Put tennis, anything you can think
What
of.
am I hearing right now?
Texas
what am I hearing right now?
Sweeps.
What am I hearing
Competitive
right now?
tag, Texas sweeps.
To all the beautiful souls, the beautiful viewers out there, let's know the West Coast is always going to be the best coast. You know what I'm saying? It's not in us. You know, I mean, it's not on us. It's in us. You know what I'm saying? California is just going to be the best. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm from Northern California to be exact. But when the whole state come about, you already know it's when in doubt. What?
Can't even do it.
Man,
Can't even do it. Number one Texas team versus the number one Cali team.
Hey,
Texas,
y'all gonna find out.
Texas,
Hey, y'all gonna find out. Look, we gonna.
You see it in college all the time.
All the
What
time.
Cali teams messing with Texas?
Okay. In college,
Longhorns.
you wanna know why?
Them Longhorns.
Them Longhorns are
Them
taking.
Longhorns.
Them Longhorns are taking Cali players and bringing them there.
Los
So
Angeles
it's our
Chargers.
fault that California people want to come play in Texas.
Exactly.
I think that just happens to be with just how football was made. Just like Texas in the South just values football more than California does. But we got the talent, most def.
But it's always been that way.
Values. Yeah,
It's always been that way too. Cause it's like I know y'all notice like movies and stuff. A lot of movies are football based.
Mm-hmm.
They're stationed in Texas. Like it's always been that way. Texas will always be the number one state. That's why Dallas is America's football team, because it's like they built that foundation. You know what I'm saying? Winning them.
Hey, some of us don't believe Dallas is America's
I'm
just saying.
Come on, bro. Come on.
But
Cut
I mean,
it out.
I get what you mean. You know.
But my fault for the diss track though.
Hey, no, most def. So, my biggest sport is football. I love football. I used to play inside linebacker growing up, lineman. Like I was just a big husky dude. So, football. I feel like I grew up growing up into it. Like it was just a love for the sport, and it just became an art to me. You know, the angles, reading. You know, it's just like the little things that add up, and just athleticism, making your reads. It is just kind of like playing football. I felt like a field general playing linebacker. You kind of just like dictate how everything flows, and just like that, just feeling. I don't know. It just meant so much to me. I love it.
Yeah, most definitely. Like sports definitely like shadows a bunch of teaching moments and a bunch of like paths to grow in your life, because it's just like sports teach you so much. And like I've said in the last podcast, like learning, that's all life is about. You know what I'm saying? Sports has a lot of learning opportunities in it, in my opinion. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But you said a lot about loss and your experience in growing up without your father. So what was your like motivation to keep going?
My motivation to keep going was again, it had to be my younger siblings, because in those moments I would just feel super lonely and to myself. Like I felt like nobody was here struggling with me. But then like I had to come to a realization that I had 3 younger siblings who were going through the same thing. And so I had wanted to make change, not only for them to put on for them, but over time I wanted to also do it for myself, just for how far I've came and like how smart I am, just how blessed. I just give glory to God, because it's just been a blessing. And so in those dark times, like I always want to remember my siblings, because I want to just be the role model for them. Like although we went through this, like this doesn't shape us into who we are today. Like I want to make something out of us and just put on, right? Just want to put on. I'm gonna be something. I want to create an impact, not only to them too, but to my family of my own and just people around me.
Nah, adding on to that, as the oldest of my 3 siblings, I definitely understand what you mean by wanting to put on for yourself so you can put on for your younger siblings. Because at the end of the day, they look up to you because you're their big brother, and if they need something, they're going to come to you to get it done. And if you feel like you can't get it done, you're going to do whatever you can to make sure that you can get it done. And yeah, I just feel for that.
Coming from me, personally, I'm the middle child. So you guys talk about being the oldest, but I'm the middle child. I have a bigger brother, and then I have a little brother. But me and my little brother, we're not that much in contact, but we still, you know what I'm saying, still love there. And with my big brother, that's definitely a person that I definitely want to put on to, even though he's older than me. You know what I'm saying? We both went through the same exact thing growing up, you know what I'm saying? And we just turned out differently. He's a different person than me, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because we're still brothers, and I want him to be as successful as I am, and I want to put on for him. That's my motivation. I want to put on for him.
Most definitely.
So as you being a 20-year-old in 2024, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I would say actually in the year 2024, like I'm big on my journey. I've been telling myself life's been a journey. And I say to myself in the next 5 years, I just feel like they put the dice in my hand. I'm just ready to take a gamble, take a risk on myself. I got so much belief in myself. I just believe I get to where I need to be with going corporate with whatever job in sales or not sales, but business. Or I really want to be a sports analyst, sports broadcaster, sports announcer. Like I said, just jumping out of my shell and becoming, breaking old habits and becoming my own man. So I say in the next 5 years, just starting my journey, starting my career is what I should say. Highlight.
So you talking about your career, how did you get into sports broadcasting, and where is that interest coming from, and how did you get put onto that?
So my interest comes from the fact is just like at a young age, like again, I loved football. So like I would just study the stats, study players, and just like I had a common knowledge to who players were and just their interests. And it grew, like I said, because as I loved the game of football, loving the reads, it became an art to me. Like I said, just the angles and how players are able to do this and that. Like when you just actually dive into football, again, the little things just build up for so much. So like I said, I just find it very entertaining, and I enjoy the moments. And so I want to capture glimpses, inspiring moments that inspire others, to overcome adversity, and like I said, just willing to play. So I would say, could you repeat that question one more time again?
I said, how did you get into sports broadcasting, and where do you see yourself taking that?
Okay, so that's how I got into sports broadcasting. Where do I see myself taking that? I'm gonna create my just my own podcast, to where like I just sit down.
Coming soon.
Yeah, most definitely. To where I just sit down and interview, and we just talk about life and the journey of life. Like I said, everybody has an impact just being themselves, because you could just learn so much from others, and just like understanding that everybody has their struggles. And just like I said, pouring into others, pouring into the right people who are just willing to believe in themselves and play this game we call life.
Have you had any opportunities to like be a fill-in sports broadcaster, even if it's like a kid's game or a high school football game?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I have had opportunities, but that's just one thing I've struggled with within myself, which is kind of like confidence. Again, I have the understanding that I need to go out there and build my confidence, and that's just one thing I'm just fighting with. Is just again getting out there now.
Most definitely. I would say that he definitely has a good head on his shoulders. And one thing that he doesn't know, that we do know, is that we actually have a little surprise for him, because we're promoting his podcast right now, because we're finna give y'all a taste later in this podcast of what his podcast is going to sound like. We're going to let him do a little talking about sports, and we're going to piggyback off of it. Just being a real one.
And then eventually when it's out, all links will be in description.
All links will be in description, because we're going to help him create his channel, and he's going to get started on this soon, because we're not holding him. He's not finna hold himself back from his dream.
And I'm not gonna
He's
lie.
going to get started. We're finna make him act on his opportunity. Since we did it, we've been talking about making a podcast for months now, since we became friends. And it's like, he's been talking about that too, but he still hasn't acted on it. And as a friend, who am I to let him not act on it and stay back while we're going up? So we're going to let you guys get in on that. But as I was saying, he has a good head on his shoulders, and you definitely have a good career that you want to, you know what I'm saying?
And he definitely knows what he's talking about when it comes to sports, because every time I go to his room, he's always either playing a sports game, watching highlights, or even just talking about sports with people that he's on the phone with or whatever it may be. And I feel like he could really go somewhere with it, because I know ESPN's the goal.
Most dead.
And I would say my question leading up to that is, since you're on a good path right now. So I would say, looking back, what would you have done differently in your personal life?
Looking back, I would definitely would believe in myself more. I would psych myself out, especially coming to senior year during COVID. It really messed me up, because I was just giving up on myself, giving up on school, and I didn't have the results I wanted, and so I was comparing myself to others and how they were, again, having success in their lives, and I was like, man, I'm not doing enough. And so it kind of like diminished my confidence. And so I started getting distracted from my path, and started again picking up different hobbies. Not to say that was bad, because I've learned traits and different lessons from them, but I definitely got sidetracked. So I would just say, again, just believe in yourself, believe in the process, and again, just stay consistent.
And about your profession, I was going to say, It's a lot of people that have a lot of different opinions on broadcasting and things of that nature. So I would want to ask you: is there like a common stereotype that people make about sports broadcasting that you just hate, so you can get it out there right now?
Man, one thing is, I just hate like some. Well, I think it's a stereotype of just like sports announcers' lack of understanding. Like I feel like just because we don't play the professional sport, but we could still give like an expert analysis. Just because, again, just study and the research from it, personal research, primary research. Again, I would just say just don't diminish our name just because we didn't play the profession.
Yeah, most definitely. I see a lot of people like Stephen A. Smith and what's his name, dude that used to be with Shannon Sharp.
Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless. Like people get on people like him all the time, and I always hold my tongue in a situation like that because not my business. But it's not my business. But at the end of the day, I always hold my tongue on stuff like that because it's like it just annoys me because it's like. It doesn't matter if you didn't play the sport as long as you have knowledge on what to do to win the sport because you've been watching it for so many years. You can give your opinion. Just like all of the people hating on people like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, all of them people that do sports talks and just podcasts and stuff. Y'all be people hating on the players too. Like the fans are the players' biggest enemies, bro.
Yes.
They're the fan and they will sit there and down the player till he play good. But it's like he's not playing good because you're downing him. And it's like like you want to give him that confidence that like he needs. You know, like yeah, you might just be just one random person out of a million people, but at the end of the day, they could have seen that like words hurt people, bro. Like fans have to do a better job because fan bases ruins players, bro.
Yes.
And on the other side of that, when players, at least recently, when they've come out and started making their own podcasts and stuff, the fans are surprisingly showing a lot of love, even though they might not be talking what they want to talk about. Like one I know is JJ Redick. He has a really good podcast, and then for example, also Paul George has a really good podcast that he gets a lot of guests on. Mm-hmm. And I'm just waiting for the day he get like LeBron or somebody on there.
Nah, facts. The day he gets LeBron on that podcast, bro, it's gonna be like anytime know me right. Anytime LeBron's on the podcast, you always hearing a new story.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you're hearing them lies that you be saying, but it's like at the end of the day, you're always hearing like a good story of something that happened within his career, and it's like always great to see because just like I was saying earlier, like he overcame a lot of things to get to the point he is right now. What is he? 39.
39.
He's 39?
He's 39, Dave.
Yes, 39.
I thought he was 35.
No, he was 35. COVID.
Dang.
When they won the bubble.
LeBron is finna be 40.
40.
Like, it's crazy.
LeBron's finna be 40?
40.
He's been doing this since we've been alive.
Literally, before.
Like before.
Whoa.
Bro, he's finna be 40. Like, 20 years ago. Not even 22 years ago, he was just getting in the league.
And it's crazy because he's literally been playing basketball for more than half of his life at this point. Even just in the NBA, but outside the NBA is probably like 75%.
He's been playing 4 more years than I've been alive.
Yeah. And he's still averaging like 25, 7,
still
and 7.
staying consistent, and I feel like that's just what makes him great.
That consistency, and that's all anything is about. That's all life is about. That's all that LeBron got to the level he is because of consistency. And so can you.
Stay on your path.
Stay on your path. Stay on your journey. Be consistent, and you will be successful. It doesn't matter if you're not getting viewed right now, or if you're not getting viewed or cheered for what you've been doing. You will eventually.
One day it's gonna all pay off. You just have to believe in yourself and stay true to who you are.
No cap. But like I was saying with LeBron, he overcame a lot of things in his career to get to the spot where he's at. And that brings me to you. What is a situation that you feel like you've overcame to grow you to another level of a person that you weren't? Yeah.
So, I would say when losing my father again, bringing that up, I would say it definitely created this drive in me to want to succeed. And I would say it started with me just graduating high school. Again, with what I've been through, losing my dad, and then like I said, I kind of lost my mom at the same time because she had grown to this big addiction. So like just not having them, I wanted to overcome that and just become something. And so I wanted to start out by graduating high school. Although it was hard because like my exposure at the time with my mom, it was back and forth with school. Like I said, I just kind of was giving up on myself because again, there was nobody there for me really, so to pour into me. So I was like, man, like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? And so like overcoming that because I know it was a process. I really procrastinated on myself, and like I said, just really held back my potential just by just believing in these negative thoughts that I had. That was definitely it right there. And then overcoming that, and just like I said, again, overcoming my own mind, my own personal mind, and kind of flipping that switch and starting to create belief in myself and self confidence has definitely made me grow overall.
For my next question, going a little deeper on how you were able to solve your adversity, what advice would you give younger people in the youth and even people our age or your age to help them get to that next step? Because a lot of people, they talk about it, but they don't never put it into action. And if all you do is talk and never put anything into action, then what are you doing?
Bro, words.
I would say you got to be willing to search to young people out there, even people my age, people that are younger than me. I would say you got to be willing to search, and what I mean by search is search for yourself. We live in a world where everybody wants to be somebody that they're not, and I would say find yourself, find who you are, find your talent, find your dream, and stick to it and run after it like that little engine that could, because like I said, once you do that, life becomes a whole lot easier. And I would say start by, again, believing in yourself, finding self-confidence. Again, it's okay to be you. It's okay to be unique because there's nobody else like you. I feel like it's okay to not fit in. Everybody wants to fit in. Like,
that's all it is, bro. That's all it is, bro. Like, at the end of the day, this world has put so much judgment on people to the point where everybody feels like they have to be a certain way to live, bro. And that's not how it is. God created you unique. Like, to all the females that think they gotta get a BBO to get dudes, there's a dude out here that wants you for you. To all the dudes that think they gotta get like dread extensions or something for female, there's a female out here that wants you for your nappy ass fro. Like, I'm telling you, bro. It's somebody out here for you, bro. Like, you don't have to have the image of what you think is a bad female. You need a female that's gonna be there for you. And before I even hash on relationships and stuff like that, I kind of want to ask Rob a question, piggybacking off what he asked earlier about where do you see yourself in 5 years. I want to say, 5 years ago, are you at where you thought you would be right now?
Most definitely not. I never thought I would take a step back into Texas, just because when I had moved to Abilene, again, it was hard because we were just moving from home to home. I wasn't even home, apartment to apartment, just getting evicted. And it really created a bad relationship between family on my mom's side and just again my relationship with my mom. So I just man, I don't even want to come back to Texas. I just never thought of it. And 5 years ago, I just thought I'd be staying in California, growing, going to community college, then going to a 4-year, and again becoming my own sports announcer. And then I would say last year life hit because I had the opportunity to go to Dallas again. I was just scared to leave home. But last year I had gotten kicked out of my house, and I just knew what I wanted now. I needed to do something, and so this opportunity presented itself again, and I just took it because I knew I needed something new. I knew I needed to step out of my own comfort zone, step out of my comfort zone home, out of my environment, and just be willing to grow in something new and become myself.
Most definitely.
With that, what was the question? Oh, so what you saying life had really hit you a year ago? What is one question from life that you haven't yet solved yet? Because I'm sure you have a few, if not at least one.
One question
I got a bunch.
Man, I have not solved yet is I would say my true destiny. I know I have certain things I want to accomplish, but I don't know when it's truly all said and done. Because now as of recent, I just think about when I'm 50 or 60, I want to become a high school football coach and just become coach football. I don't know, I just want to know the whole story. I'm just big on I want to, I guess kind of finding out the unknown type beat. And it's an endless question, but it creates creativity within my mind, and it just keeps me excited. So I definitely that's my biggest question right
now. And I got a lot of life questions, to be honest, bro.
No, that's right.
I'm trying to figure out what's the infinite Hellcat glitch, bro. Because
the
infinite money glitch on YouTube, bro. I'm tired of these scammers.
Why everybody think they can play with me? What are we talking about?
Man, bro.
Bro, because all of them scammers and YouTubers, bro, popping out with Hellcats, all of this designer clothes, Balenciaga, bro, I'm tired of this, bro. I'm trying to get
I need one.
Put me on.
Put me on, bro. Show the sauce, bro.
Put me on.
Dang, bro. But another question I want to ask you, referring to life in general, is referring to the end of life. So how would you want to be remembered as a person? Because you're so big on your journey and your path and growing and being a person that, you know what I'm saying, you've always wanted yourself to be. So how would you want to be remembered when you're gone?
I want to be remembered as somebody who was willing to play this game we call life. Like I said, somebody who's willing to become what they always dreamed of, and pouring back into others. You know, I'm a product of my environment. Like I said, I didn't have the best upbringing, but like I said before, it takes a village, and so I want to again become something of myself, and then pour into others who also are struggling and going through the same thing as me. I want to create, you know, just people younger than me and younger generations, inspire them to become something that they want to be and just be themselves. And like I said, to the young men who don't have fathers, you know what I'm saying, young black men, you know what I'm saying, again, I just want to pour into them and, you know what I'm saying, give them that comfort that I never had, that mentor, you know what I'm saying, and give them lessons that, you know what I'm saying, I was missing out growing up.
It sounds like you want to be the leader of your own village.
Mm-hmm.
So, from most of the stuff you said, and notice this isn't the end of the podcast, but from like the stuff that you said so far, what do you think the viewers are taking from you so far? It's a narcissist question. It's like
I think the viewers are taking from me. What I hope is just like, you know, somebody who's motivated. Like they just see somebody who's like, you know, they said that they've been through a lot. You know, they're motivated. They got something ahead of themselves. So like, I hope that they see that I'm motivated. That's what I'm saying. I think that.
And you know, that's what I wanted to hear. That's definitely what I wanted to hear. Because self-love is the best thing. And I told you that last podcast. Self-love, self-appreciation is the best thing in life. It's okay to be narcissistic a little sometimes. And sometimes it's kind of wrong to call that narcissistic because you're just telling yourself good. Like, if nobody else is going to do it, you will. And that's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to hear yourself, tell yourself about how you are.
Yeah.
Because you that's what you are. That's the type of person you are. And that's exactly what you're taking from me, because that's what I've taken from you from being your friend from a long time.
Thank you.
So most definitely.
Oh, the energy, they got that dynamic duo. Look, hey, they creating something big out here. Y'all gotta understand. Just trust.
It's on the way.
It's on the way.
We here.
Another question I have for you, piggybacking from relationships. So what's your take on relationships, bro?
We
at the real talk. Now.
What's my take on relationships?
All the men, listen up.
So, as a 20-year-old man today, what is my take on relationships? Is I'm just big on looking for a partner, somebody who to grow with. Again, I always call life a game, and I don't mean a game as in playing with my life, like I think I'm careless with my life, but it's like, you know, this is going to be an adventure with ups, downs, roller coasters, left, rights, twists, and turns, and I just want to be willing to be flexible, to flow like water. You know what I'm saying? Environments are going to change, you know, moods are going to change. And I just want to have somebody who I can piggyback off of. Like, I want to put in my all, my 110, and somebody put in their 110, and we piggyback off each other and help each other grow. Obviously, I would love to provide and create my own family, but I feel like on the come up, again, I just need a partner, like a dynamic duo, like a Shaq and Kobe. You know, again, the sports analogy. I just need somebody who, again, sometimes I'm just going to not have those nights or those days where I'm, you know, feeling myself or putting on, and I just need somebody there to, again, be there for me and, you know what I'm saying, just pour into me again, and just like I said, be my best friend, I don't even know, just my partner, like my dynamic duo. Like, I know, just like a forever thing.
With that being said, what's your biggest fear when it comes to relationships?
My biggest fear is I would say not being able to like love my partner and just do the past things. Like I said, I know how it feels to have somebody like, you know what I'm saying, use you and not, you know what I'm saying, love you for who you are. And I would say my biggest fear in relationships is just not doing that. You know, I don't want to be a terrible person to anybody, or, you know what I'm saying, to my partner. I want to be willing to, you know what I'm saying, help them grow. So I said that's my biggest fear, is just not being able to love them how I can or how they want.
Because I know for me, my biggest fear is like very big miscommunication and or a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
Because I can say something and you take it a completely different way, and now your feelings hurt, and now you're being mad at me. And I can understand that, because maybe I should have communicated it a better way, but it's just something I'm scared of because it's happened before, and I just don't like repeating the same things over and over again. That's insanity. So I'm trying to break that cycle.
Most definitely. I agree. Miscommunication, just like, it leads to, you know what I'm saying, endless arguing, when it's just like, we have to you know what I'm saying, come back. Sometimes we have to drop our egos. We always want to have the last word and, you know what I'm saying, the last laugh. And like I said, we just get, you know, too emotional when it's just,
and
sometimes.
At the end of the day, we have to realize when you're in a relationship, it's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about we're together and we're going to figure it out.
Together.
Together.
Again, like I said, back to just having a teammate. Like I said, somebody again. This is a team. Like this is not no one man army. Like if we're in this together. This is gonna be a journey. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I said, when I pick up a partner, like we have locked hands, and now we're on the road. We're going to become something. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. And it's coming from me, a person in a 10-month relationship right now. I can definitely give you guys some advice on that because my biggest fear personally is far from y'all's because my biggest fear in a relationship right now is just my partner just falling out of love with me. Like from just mistakes that I've been making, you know? And, you know, it's like me personally, I find it really hard sometimes to grow because I just tell myself so many things and it's like, I'm always going at war with myself over my thoughts and it's like that's just gonna keep me in the same spot and sometimes you just gotta tell that voice to just shut up, bro. Like shut up. Like you like Rob tells me all the time, like tell that voice in the back of your head to shut up because he's holding you back or she's holding you back. And when you tell that voice to shut up and you're telling yourself what you need to hear and you're letting God in and God's telling you what you need to hear, then trust me, like you're going to grow. Any mistakes because I'm not just going to tell you that no mistakes are going to happen. Like you and your partner's going to argue all the time or whether it's over little stuff. Like you can say, oh yeah, me and my partner never, like y'all are going to argue because it's like even if everything's going perfect, y'all going to argue over the little things, and if stuff's not going perfect, y'all going to argue over the big things. But at the end of the day, like he said, it's about staying together, holding that glue. And one thing that I would say that couples just are so bad on is just so quick to give up on one another. People are so quick to give up on one another.
Especially
it's
nowadays.
So bad, like, cause it's so many people think, oh, it's just so many other fish in the sea. So if this person that I chose to love me isn't giving me what I want, then I'm just gonna slap them in the face, and I'm not gonna work out with you. Even if we think that we can't figure this out, then we're gonna stop trying, and we're gonna just go about our day. And then we're gonna probably be toxic and still mess with each other, but we're still gonna go search for other fish in the sea at the end of the day. That's not what it's about, bro. It's about learning together, growing together, building a foundation together, and staying together, bro. That's it. That's all it takes, bro. That's all it takes. Trust me. And it's never going to work if you guys don't respect each other either. If you don't respect each other and respect each other boundaries and what, you know what I'm saying, that partner would get mad at, then it's all, you guys are always just going to be chirping at each other. There's never going to be a resolution. If you're too stuck in not wanting to be wrong, there's never going to be a resolution. You guys are just going to be chirping with each other. It's just at the end of the day, it's about coming to that center medium. At the end of the day, just coming to a middle agreement, a middle compromise. When you guys just had an argument, the first thing coming back to that shouldn't be another argument. It should be, where are we going to go from here? How are we going to get better? What are we going to do to prevent this from happening again? What is the compromise so you won't be mad at this again? That's how it should always go. It should never, breaking up should never be on the table. Leaving each other should never be on the table. Ever. Like ever. If you really love that person, but if you don't waste your time. Don't waste a body. Don't waste giving your body away to somebody that you know that you're not truly going
to pour into.
Exactly. Like it's in our generation, it's so bad at it, and I can't blame this generation for that.
But you know what we can blame it on? We can blame it on the media consistently throwing that in our face and acting like that's okay. Yeah. But it's not, because at the end of the day, at least from a man's perspective, all I want in life is a happy relationship with a family and kids one day.
Exactly, and that's all any man wants. No matter how he tries to cover it up, that's all any man's going to want. Well, I don't want no kids. You know, you want a kid. You want a kid. You want a wife, because that's the stereotypical life that this world has put on us to have, and that's just what we all want. It's none of our faults. That's just what we were born into. That's what we were growing up seeing. Parents toxic. Kids not having fathers, kids not having mothers. It's just all, and it's 30% of the time it's circumstantial. It maybe the father might have passed, maybe the mother might have passed, but 70% of the time it's just because the father and the mother just can't get things right, and they end up either divorcing, the father ends up not taking care of the kid, or the mother is just, you know what I'm saying, just not there to take care of the kid either, and the dad is just a single father. Because that's the only way it goes, and that's the only way that we've seen it our whole life. There's that 10% of kids that grew up with happy families with a father, a mother,
grandparents,
uncles, siblings. Like that's a rare 10%. And trust me, like 10% may seem like a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's a lot because it's 7 billion people in the world. Yeah, that's a lot, but that's still a small percentage.
For the context that we're talking about, that number should be a lot bigger.
It should, bro, because like it takes 2 to make a kid, and at the end of the day, it's gonna take 2 to make another kid. That's gonna make grandparents. It's gonna make 2 to make another kid. That's gonna make some great grandparents. That's gonna make 2 to make another kid. That's gonna be great grandparents. And if that's really rare. That's really rare to have all of that. And that's the 10% of this world that a lot of people want to have. A lot of people want to make that number bigger, and a lot of people try to cover it up. But at the end of the day, that's literally just what everybody wants. If you don't want it, cool. But a lot of other people do. So you're not going to probably find a relationship if that's not on your mind, if that's not your mental, unless you find another person with the same mental that they don't want kids. But that's usually how it goes. And that's what I really blame for a lot of these relationships being the way they are nowadays, because it's just too toxic. And we've grew up in that environment of toxicity. So it's like we just got sucked into that. And we just in that now.
And it really stems because our parents' raised our parents in such a negative connotation in life. Like, they couldn't do this, that, and that. They had to do this, and this by this time. And it was just very toxic and negative. And so our parents didn't have an example of a positive parent or just somebody you could go to and talk to about anything, no matter what it was. But I feel like our generation is going to be the generation to start to break that curse that's been placed on us. Because you see it all the time about all the happy mothers and fathers that are so excited to take care of their kid, and even the ones that don't have kids, even when they're around kids, they get baby fever and give the kid whatever they want. Like, for example, my stepdad, when he would see my sister, he would fold and give her $50 every time. I'm like, so I can't get no bread? Like, what are you talking about?
Man, I'm already know. I would say another thing too is you have to be willing to drop your ego. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up within ourselves. Like, when you meet your partner, you're not gonna fully know your partner, and that's another thing with growing with one another. Having like effective communication, just a cycle of communication with comprehension, conflict resolution. Again, just like understanding one another and understanding your boundaries, and again, just be willing to grow and understand one another, and that's through the cycle of effective communication.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of what Zay said a little bit, yeah, this generation is gonna break that curse because we're too self-aware of what's going on. We know exactly what's going on. That's like, people watching this podcast, you're hearing this and you're probably agreeing, like, yeah, that's how a lot of people's lives go, because we're too self-aware and we're so ready to break that curse. Like, a lot of the successful relationships are breaking that curse. A lot of the past generation, a lot of them broke that curse, and they made that, because it wasn't 10% for a really long time. It was about 5% for a while, but that last generation of our parents kind of broke it a little bit.
But not completely.
Not completely, though. There's still a big percentage of those kids that are being, in that stereotypical experience. But now that we're off relationships, we're dwindling down to the end of our podcast. So we're going to give you guys what we promised you. And we're going to let Rob throw us a topic, and we're going to piggyback off of it as raw as possible.
Just keep it NBA though, because we start talking about football, I'm cooked.
So the first thing first is, like, I think we should just get into the biggest discussion. Again, us being a younger generation, we should just talk about, who's really the GOAT to us. Me being a part of the younger generation, I believe, again, the conversation is Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Me witnessing greatness within LeBron James for his 20 years. Again, no glazing. I just believe LeBron's impact on the game and how he has, like, his journey as a player. I just believe that makes him...
Nigga finna get me started.
Nigga get me started.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, bro.
I got some stuff to say.
I ain't gonna lie. I am so tired of this debate. I'm so tired of it.
Let him know, Dan.
I don't care about Jordan's rings, bro. I don't care. But one thing I will say is, this is just me coming from this is just a biased LeBron fan. So I ain't even gonna do too much, because it's gonna be as biased as possible, because you guys are gonna agree with me. So what I am going to say about this debate, though, is it's all perspective.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, it's just about who you watch. I didn't watch Jordan play. I just watch highlights. Highlights are going to show me everything I want to see about him. So I don't want to watch Jordan play. I don't care about Jordan. I'm not going to lie. I rock his shoes. He was a great player. But in that GOAT debate, I don't care about Jordan, because LeBron's my GOAT. LeBron's my GOAT because I watched LeBron grow up as a grown man. Yeah. And I grew up watching LeBron. I watched LeBron since I was a child. From the Cavaliers to the Heat, back to the
Lil
Cavaliers to the Lakers. Every single team he's
To
been
the
on.
Knicks, 2025.
But yeah, I've watched LeBron for a long time, so of course that's going to be my GOAT. I've watched him through the ugly, and he still succeeded through the ugly. I watched him through the good, and he's played amazing through the good. 2013 Brian, Demon, best LeBron ever.
Let's not talk about 2018, even though he lost, but that was a well-oiled machine.
I feel like, again, too, just the different eras of the game. I feel like people just lack true understanding of that. When you mentioned those 2018 era, like just the teams that he was facing with just so much talent. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. I feel like you just don't see a Kevin Durant in Jordan's era. Not to diminish what had happened, but I just feel like Michael Jordan, again, one of the most winningest players of all time, a cerebral assassin, you know what I'm saying? I will give that. The greatest winning player of all time. But do I believe he's the greatest player of all time? No. Like, I just believe, he done a lot, but didn't do it all. I feel like he had a Robin and Scottie Pippen. You know, I've seen LeBron take over games
By himself.
With J.R. Smith, bro. With J.R. Smith, bro.
Deladova.
Like-
Gordon Curry. Like, what are you talking about?
Like I'm talking, and he's like,
Deladova, bro. Come on, bro.
Deladova.
Like, but what I say with the generation thing, that's definitely true. Is like
The game
every
just
generation,
evolved so much.
every generation is going to be better than the last generation. We seen that in the All-Star game this past weekend. Because guess what that East team was full of? Straight new generation players. The West team was full of players like LeBron, Curry, KD. You know, the stereotypical best players in our era. But now we're getting to a new era, the new generation. Shai, Luka,
Tyrese
Halliburton, Tatum, all of them, bro. Like, they are going to be way better. Like, as soon as we get the next, like, when LeBron's gone, I can say it's arguably going to be, who's the next GOAT? Like, who's going to be the next GOAT of this generation? And it's probably going to be between a person like Tatum, Wemby.
Yeah, I was going to say Victor is going to be on that list.
Tatum, Wemby, Luka, Shai, Gilgeous Alexander, Jokic, you know what I'm saying?
Giannis up there.
And guess what's going to happen? As soon as LeBron retired, there's going to be a bunch of what ifs. Okay, what if LeBron stayed in the league this long? Would he still be the GOAT? Or would Luka be better than him? Would Luka not be? Like, it's always going to be a GOAT debate every single generation. Like, we're going to see that. Like, trust me. And that's why that really diminishes a lot of those talks, especially what happened this past weekend, because the same thing would happen if it was an all-star game between LeBron, Curry, all of them in their prime versus Jordan, Kobe, and all of them.
And I'm
the
not
same
even
thing
gonna
would
lie.
happen.
Not even just an all-star game. I feel like 96 Bulls versus 17 Warriors is going to
Cooked.
the Warriors. Because just the game has evolved so much with the three-point shot, and we've seen it with the Phoenix Suns. They kind of burned out in the playoffs because all they were doing was taking mid-ranges and layups, and they were getting outshot. And it's just going to be the same thing. Yes, they have really good defenders, but it's kind of hard to guard Steph Curry, KD. Then you got to worry about Klay, and then this is the time when Draymond can actually shoot the ball. So it's like you can only do so much, and you're not gonna leave nobody open.
And then think about the fact that I seen a stat the other day that the 2016-2017 Warriors in today's time would rank last in points per game because they were at like 102.
Yeah.
And the rest of the league was at like 90, 98, and all of that. And if you look at the Bulls' points per game, back then in '99, I'm pretty sure it would not be.
It was probably gonna be like 90s, 80s.
You know, like it would not be around like 100 or something. Meaning they would rank probably like
offense
bottom tier. So it's like offensive really became better. And I really like, and the reason I'm mentioning teams because I'm really not like when it comes to LeBron and Jordan, yeah, that's a GOAT debate of a player's status. But when it comes to who's the greatest player of all time, you can't just think of that player unless you're saying who's the best skilled player of all time.
True.
That's the only time you can really say who's the best player of all time because there is no best player of all time. Who's the best team of all time? Because it doesn't take a player to win a game. It takes a team to win a game. True. And yeah, that's a stereotypical saying, but it's true. Like LeBron didn't win the 16? No, 18.
18.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, he didn't win the 2018 finals by himself.
Oh, that was not 18. That was 16.
Yeah, because the Warriors won the 16. Cavaliers won the 17. Warriors won the 18.
I thought they did one comeback and won the championship in 15.
I thought they did in 2016, 2017. No, yeah, 2016, 2017.
Because
was the Warriors.
LeBron did the comeback the year before KD joined, so it had been that 2015.
Let me check. Let me do the research.
Most dad.
Because Kyrie.
Irving for 30, puts it in, Kyrie Irving.
Future ESPN sports broadcaster.
I'm telling you,
Oh,
Mike
yeah,
Green.
2016.
Mike
No,
Green,
I'm
Mike
joking.
Green, shout out to Mike Green, you know what I'm saying, one of the greatest callers on the NBA court. But to piggyback off you guys, what you guys say, you guys talk about the evolution of the game. I feel like that also adds to LeBron's greatness. But then you guys also mentioned defense too. And I feel like the physicality of the game back then, like a lot of, in Jordan's era, a lot of people bring up the fact of just the physicality of the game and like the rules. Like I feel like just the rule changing, understand that basketball became more of like a skill. Like now
And
it's
not
more
just who's
skill
bigger
play,
than
like
who.
who's bigger, who's stronger. Like obviously that still comes to play with athleticism and everything, but now like
we see Fred
skill.
VanVleet blocking Joel Embiid.
He has the most shots for somebody under 6 foot in a season in history. I think he's at like 60 something. And he's 6
But height
foot.
was never a thing in the NBA because we've seen like people play like
Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues.
Like height was never a thing. So it's
CB
not about the
is
height.
not 6'8".
It's just the fact that defense has evolved so much. So it's like people like these orientated offenses really have to be like
The best.
they have to be the best. Like you have to have a really good game plan going in the game because like back then, if it was a blowout in the second quarter, we knew it was a blowout. We knew that was the end of the game. People leaving the arena already. But it's like the game has evolved so much and became so strategic, just like the NFL. It became so strategic to the point where like it really doesn't matter what players you have. That's why big three teams and stuff don't work. It doesn't matter what players you have. It really just matters the game plan going into the game because you can be down by 20 or 50 and still win the game in the fourth quarter.
Sure.
And
Like
also-
it does not matter, bro. Like I'm telling you, like it does not matter nowadays. Like we see teams like why didn't the Nets work? Why didn't Kyrie, Harden, and KD work? They're the best. They're arguably the best scorers of their time. Their
Chemistry.
coach was terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't have no chemistry. They were always injured.
There was only one basketball.
There was only one basketball. Every time one of them got the ball, it was just ISO. They didn't have a game plan. That's why KD went to the Suns. And I mean, KD's kind of in a similar situation when it comes to, the game evolving, and him kind of being left behind because he's still in his little.
Mid-range era.
Yeah.
And
Pull up midi.
he got to pick whether he wants to go to the rim or just start shooting more threes. And he can. He's not like he's not one of the most efficient players of all time. It's just he hasn't been deciding to do that. And he's still killing the game, just not at the same rate that he was. Because
Yeah, like he's
Prime
definitely.
scary.
Like
Scary,
KD's,
man.
KD's still killing the game. Like
Definitely.
KD is killing the game. Like still like to the same level that he was back then. Like he's still doing the same. KD is still the same KD that we've seen.
He's just not finding as much success.
Exactly. He's just not finding success on a good team. Like OKC, that was a good fit for him. He had a good point guard. You know what I'm saying? He had a good team around him.
Good
They just
coach.
couldn't get past Steph Curry. So that was it. They just couldn't get past Curry. But I mean, yeah, like that's why we don't see big three teams working anymore with a bunch of all stars and stuff. Like the West would probably got beat by the Knicks if on a Friday night. Like the all star West team would have probably got beat by the Knicks on a good night, bro. I'm telling you. Like
Just because Thibodeau be playing them 40 minutes a game.
and it would have been Dante DiVincenzo getting 40 out of nowhere on a random.
And
Like
a
that's
game
how
winner.
random the NBA is now, bro. Like you got people that you never heard of. No disrespect to
NBA players.
the NBA players, but it's just if you don't know them, but players that you never heard of and not like a superstar that would normally drop 40, just dropping 40 out of nowhere. Like you got Cam Thomas dropping 40 one night, then 5 points the next. Like it's just the game is all about. At this point, the game really relies on your coach. Like back then, it relied on the players more. Like, but it really relies on your coach. And when your coach is not performing, that makes the players take over. Like the Lakers situation. Why is LeBron the coach? Why is LeBron the coach? Why is LeBron the coach on this team? And
Lead
it's showing.
coach.
Yeah, it is showing.
Like it's showing. He told Dart to him.
No,
What you trying
forget
to
that
say?
play.
No. Like
And then on
He
the
said,
other
"Are we
side of
good?"
that, with the Miami Heat last playoff run with Eric Spoelstra, they came in as the AC and beat Milwaukee in the first round. And Milwaukee is a hard team to beat. And I'm pretty sure I would go off on a limb because Milwaukee got beat in the first round. That's why they decided to trade Drew Holiday. And I really feel like they messed up trading Drew Holiday because their defense has fallen off so much. But Patrick Beverly is there now, so.
He's definitely it definitely like was a good addition. Patrick Beverly just because they are missing a lot from Drew Holiday. But let's get into actually the conversation of that. How you feel on how I guess the business side of the NBA and how players are treated. You know, sometimes we complain that a player's sitting out or, you know what I'm saying, asking for a fat contract, and sometimes that they do it for the money. But I feel like we fail to realize the business side of professional sports, and is that like one injury can lose it all for you, all the endorsements and everything like that.
One thought that this player isn't performing how I think he is, let's send him to another team, will change a person's life, bro. You gotta move your family to another city just because you don't think I'm playing good enough. You gonna trade me. You don't promise me a 4-year contract, guaranteed money. Yeah, cool, the money's guaranteed, but it's just like why? I gotta move my kids to another school. I gotta move my family. My wife gotta get another job if she even is working. I doubt she is because I'm in the NFL, so I'm making a bunch of money. But I mean, like it's just all like just a why. But I understand it's business. At the end of the day, they want to win, and if the player's not helping them win, then they're going to get rid of him. But that's just the ugly side of the game. It's just like you see what they did to Isaiah Thomas. Like there's no loyalty in the league. You could put your heart on the line. You could play when a relative just died, like a relative you knew your whole life.
Mike Budenholzer's, I think, what was it, his mom or dad passed, and then the coach or the Bucks still made him play, or not play, but coach, and then when he wasn't performing, they fired him. But going into that, on the other side, a player that we've seen that really bought into the business side of their respective sport and really left it all out there on the field was Deion Sanders. And we talked about this the other day, but because everything Deion Sanders did and how much he accomplished and how much he put his body on the line, he's reaping the consequences of that now. Like, he just started being able to run again for the first time in years. And let's not talk about that boy's feet. His feet is messed up.
Bro got a few toes.
Man.
Yo! A few toes is crazy. Hey, Deion, when you start watching this, we ain't mean it. We don't mean it. We don't mean it.
My fault, Deion.
Fly us out to Colorado. Good show. Man, yeah, but I would say that's just the, that's the, how do I say it? It's the consequences that just happens with giving into your sport. We talked about LeBron too, and in his situation. I mean, he's taking care of his body and everything like that, but like, what happens after basketball for him? Like, how will his body react? Like, how will his mind react? Just because
was it really worth it?
Was it really worth it?
With all those failed years, really worth it? You know what I'm saying? Like, was all of those years of putting your body on the line just to fall up short worth it?
Because, yeah, you could say they're getting paid hella money, but money doesn't buy you happiness. Money doesn't make your body be able to be the same. Because, yeah, you can get all these procedures and everything, but procedures aren't guaranteed to work majority of the time. And there's all types of complications and stuff that goes wrong. And one of my friends said it the best. He was like, athletes are the most paid slaves in the world, because they are. Because, like Dame said, in a matter of a second, you're told where to go, with no
hit the door.
Yeah, with no, oh, are you okay? None of that. Just
come in
There's
my
no
office.
loyalty.
Let me talk to you real quick. Boom. When you
just
walk out that door, you on another team.
And
like that's how quick life could change.
And like, there's an understanding that it is a professional sports, and you're we need you to perform and give results. But like, I just feel like you should definitely show love to a player because they pour into you and your organization. They're bringing you revenue. They're bringing you fans. You know what I'm saying? They're creating that winning culture. They're applying to your mission. I just feel like there should just be more love towards the players. You know what I'm saying? Because they're human. We just have to understand that professional athletes are also human. Again, like, I don't want to put them on a pedestal, but again, they're human. They have emotions, and I feel like they should create better relationships for the players. Organizations should be pouring into their players, young players, old players, all that. I feel like that's what makes a good organization.
And I feel like a lot of NBA players are doing really good by what they are getting. Like, a lot of good players are giving back to the youth. And personally, I've experienced this from playing basketball and going on these, like meeting these professional players and them talking to us about certain stuff like
Bojan Bogdanovic.
Yeah, heard him speak motivational before. It's like all of these athletes, they're giving back to us with knowledge. It's not that you have to give back to us with like money or, they're giving their knowledge of what they've been through during the league because we want to get there too. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I feel like they're going in the right path with what they're getting, but it's just on the organizations, bro. Like, the organizations, they have to do better when it comes to, like, don't get you a player. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Yeah, you can get a player expecting him to play great and then he doesn't, but it's just like, at the end of the day, don't make a gamble that you're willing to give up in a split second. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, like, let them work. And let them build, because that's
Get
all
into
the
the
team is
groove.
for. Let them get into what they're supposed to get into. And if they're not performing, then it's understandable. Like Keelan Hayes. Perfect example. All I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But other than that, like players like Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, who put their body on the line for these organizations and these fans that clown them and get mad when they leave them. Like it's just crazy to me. But we're gonna end it off at there.
Wait. I got one more question. My
One
final
more
question. My fault is who y'all thoughts of who's winning this NBA championship? We getting
The
close.
Lakers.
The Lakers. He got the Lakers.
Hear me out. We fired Armingham, get Mike Budenholzer, or trade for Monty Williams, because I just found out you can trade for coaches.
Okay.
You know what I do for Monty Williams?
Okay.
I do a lot.
And Monty Williams with the Lakers.
Ooh wee. Ooh. Who you think will win the championship?
Man, so I'm from Sacramento, so I'm obviously gonna trust my team, the B
Bro.
team.
Bro, get out of here, bro. We ending this podcast, Dan. Get us out of here, bro.
Anyways, thank you for watching the stream. Links all in the description. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow Zay on Instagram. Follow Zay on TikTok. Follow Rob on Instagram. We will link his stuff in
And
the
on
description.
TikTok, he be posting.
And on
Here and there,
TikTok.
here and there. I just want to say thank you guys again for having me on. It's an honor, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to grow with you guys. especially your
First
journey.
member.
Man, there's so much more to come for you guys. Like I said, I just love this energy. I love the environment. And like I said, just knock it out the park, bro. Just be you. It's good, man.
Big things on the way.
Yes,
things,
sir.
Big things on the way. Speaking of on the way. So we've made a schedule for you guys, and we will be dropping videos every single other day. We're going to be consistent with it. Trust me, we won't miss a video, because the days that we're not making videos, not uploading videos, we're going to be recording videos. So that's going to be our little process from now on until we leave college. But when we leave college, we will be, again, streaming and doing virtual podcasts for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Thank you for watching. Certified Damo.
They was like a show.